Namaste. Welcome to the lecture series on operations research. Transportation problems are one of the important type of problems that we can find in operation research. In the last lectures, we have studied about how we can get the initial solutions for the transportation problem. Northwest corner rule or least cost method or Vogel's approximation method can be used for get the initial solutions. Once the initial solutions is got, we can use this solution for finding the optimal solution. One such method used to find the optimal solution is UV method. It is also called as the modified distribution method or MODI method. It is also called as the transportation simplex method. Let us understand how this UV method works. The steps involved in the UV methods are as follows. First, we need to find out the initial basic feasible solution using any one of the methods, northwest corner rule, least cost method or Vogel's approximation method. Usually Vogel's approximation method is preferred as it leads to minimum number of iterations in the UV method. Next, we need to assign variable ui for each of the rows and variable vj to each of the columns. Then we are supposed to assign the values and get the values for u's and v's. To start with, let us assign u1 is equal to 0 and look for the occupied cells. Let us have the relation Cij is equal to ui plus vj. Cij is already known to us. By taking u1 is equal to 0, we can find sum of the vj's. So this need to be repeated several number of times so that all the ui's and vj's are found. By using the allocated cells. For all unoccupied cells, compute the value of delta ij. The delta ij is nothing but Cij minus ui plus vj's. Next, we need to compute, we need to check whether the optimal solution is reached. The optimal solution checking will be done by looking at the values of delta ij. If all the values of delta ij are greater than 0, then the current solution is an optimal solution. We can stop the procedure by concluding that the current solution is an optimal solution. Suppose delta ij is 0, then it means that some alternate solution exists. If we are interested in the alternate solution, we can go for that. Otherwise, if some of the values are sum of delta ij's are less than 0, then the given solution is not optimal solution and further improvement can be done. So let us understand how to get that improved solution. Looking into the delta ij values, select the one with the largest negative value of delta ij. For that particular cell, we are supposed to allocate in the next iteration. To allocate to that particular cell where the delta ij is largest negative, draw the closed path. So closed path is drawn by selecting that particular cell where the largest negative of delta ij is there, along with the occupied cells, along with the allocated cells. So to draw the path, we need to always take the right angle at each occupied cells. Accordingly, allocate plus theta, mark plus theta and minus theta sign alternatively at each corner, starting from the original unoccupied cell. Once the loop or the path is got, select the minimum value from the cells that are marked with minus theta. Assign this value to the selected unoccupied cell. So now the unoccupied cell with the largest negative value of delta ij becomes occupied one. Also add this value to the other occupied cells marked with plus theta sign. Subtract this value to the other occupied cells marked with minus theta sign. Now the alternate solution is got, modified solution is got, which will be better solution than the previous one. Now again we need to check whether the solution got now is an optimal or not. So step 2 to step 7 need to be repeated until all the delta ij values are greater than or equal to 0. If all are greater than or equal to 0, it means optimal solution is got. This is how UV method works. Let us start with one illustration. Find the optimal solution for the following transportation problem. Factories are nothing but supply, 4 factories are there, warehouses are nothing but the demands. There are 3 warehouses, supplies are given as well as the demand is given. First we need to check whether the problem is balanced. Here total supply is equal to 34, the total demand is equal to 34. So therefore the problem is a balanced one. Now let us find the initial basic feasible solution using Vogel's approximation method. This is the solution that we got by using the Vogel's approximation method. In this lecture, since we are concentrating on the UV method, how this is got, it is not discussed in detail. Please refer to the previous lecture for the understanding of the Vogel's approximation method. So this is the solution we got by using the Vogel's approximation method. So the solution is nothing but x11 equal to 3, x12 is equal to 2, x23 is equal to 8, and similarly other 3 values. The total transportation cost here it is 80. What we need to observe here is how many allocations. The total allocations here it is 6, and m plus n minus 1, that is also 6. Since the total allocations are equal to m plus n minus 1, the solution is a non-degenerate solution. We can proceed to UV method to find the optimal solution. Now let us understand how the UV method works on this particular problem. We need to write the cost as shown here, as well as we are supposed to write the solution that we got. Okay. Let us assign the variables for each rows u1, u2, u3, u4. Similarly, assign the variables v for each of the columns v1, v2, v3. Now these are the formulas, notations we are using for basic variable. Any cell is considered as a basic variable cell. Cij is given in the corner and xij value is given with the circled one. For basic variables, using the basic variables values, we are supposed to find out the u as well as v values. U and v, the relation with the c is ui plus vj is equal to cij. So let us start with assigning u1 is equal to 0. We can start with any of the values by assigning it 0. So let us start with u1 is equal to 0. So having u1 is equal to 0, the relations are v1 plus u1 is equal to 2. So v1 plus 0 is equal to 2. That means the value of v1 is nothing but 2. So 2 plus 0 is equal to 2. Now get the values for v2. So the value of v2 plus 0 is equal to 7. Therefore V2 is equal to 7. Upon getting these two values of V1 and V2, we can get some other values also. So for example, let us consider U4. U4 plus V1 gives you 1. So 2 plus U4 is equal to 1. That means the value of U4 is equal to minus 1. Now let us get the values for some other values. Say U2. V3 plus U2 is equal to 1. So 3 plus minus 2 is equal to 1. So 3 plus U2 is equal to 1. So that is how we got U2 is equal to minus 2. Now for U3, we can observe that is 7 plus U3 is equal to 4. Therefore the value of U3 is nothing but minus 3. So this is how we are getting the values of U's as well as V's. Once we got the values for U's and V's, we need to find out delta Ij for the non-basic variables. Here non-basic variables are nothing but unoccupied cells. For non-basic variables, we are supposed to find out delta Ij. Delta Ij is found by using the expression delta Ij is equal to Cij plus Ui plus Vj. Delta Ij is equal to Cij minus Ui plus Vj. So let us compute for this particular cell. So delta Ij is nothing but 4 minus 3 plus 0, that is nothing but 1. Here it is nothing but 3 minus 2 plus minus 2. So that is nothing but 3. Here it is 3 minus 7 plus minus 2. It is minus 2. Here it is 5 minus 2 plus minus 3. So that is nothing but 5 plus 1. It is nothing but 6. Here it is 7 minus 3 minus 3. That is nothing but 7 itself. Here it is 6 minus 7 plus minus 1. So it is nothing but 0. So we computed all the values of delta Ij. Now find out the one with the largest negative value. Here only one negative value exists. So it itself is the largest negative value. It is nothing but minus 2. So allocate the cells 2, 2. This cell is 2, 2. So we need to allocate for this particular cell. So we need to allocate with some value of theta, let us say. How much we need to allocate? What is the value of theta? That is found by constructing the closed loop. That is computed by constructing the closed loop. How we can construct the closed loop? We can construct the closed loop something like this. So we have to ensure that to construct the closed loop by taking the allocated variables only as a corner. We need to consider allocated variables only as a corner. Then we need to construct a loop or cycle so that always it turns with a right angle. So upon getting this particular loop, this is the challenging part of the UV method. We need to find out the loop in the current situation. Once this loop is found, here it is plus theta means, plus theta in the second row means we need to subtract something from 8. So something theta need to be subtracted from 8. So minus theta from here, plus theta to this one, minus theta from 4, plus theta from 3, minus theta from 2, and of course plus theta here. So what is the value of theta now? The value of the theta is nothing but whenever we are going for the subtraction, 2 minus theta, 8 minus theta, 4 minus theta, whenever we go for the subtraction, it should not give the negative value, it should give the zero values only. At the minimum, it should lead with the zero values. So theta value is nothing but find out the minimum among these minus thetas. Okay, so it is 2 comma 4 comma 8, 2 comma 4 comma 8. So it is nothing but 2. So the theta value is nothing but 2. So let us subtract 2 from this cell, add theta to this cell, subtract from this cell, add to 10, subtract 2 from 4, add to 3, and rewrite and get the next solution. The next solution is this one, 5, 2, 6, 7, 12, 2. We need to repeat the process now, the second iteration. First we need to find out the values of u's and v's. So by using the allocated variables and using the relation ui plus vj is equal to cij, let us find out u's and v's. Assign u1 is equal to 0. So we will get v1 plus u1 is equal to 2. That is v1 plus 0 is equal to 2. So v1 is equal to 2. Now we can get the value for u4. So v1 plus 2 plus u4 is equal to 1. So u4 value is minus 1. Now coming to v3. So v3 plus minus 1 is equal to 2. So that is why v3 value is equal to 3. Now we can get the value for u2. So 3 plus u2 is equal to 1. So u2 value is equal to minus 2. Now we can get the value of v2. So v2 plus minus 2 is equal to 3. So v2 value is nothing but 5. 5 plus u3 is equal to 4. So u3 is equal to minus 1. So we got all the values of u's and v's. Now let us use delta ij expression. Delta ij is equal to cij minus ui plus vj's for the non-allocated variables, non-basic variables. So here it is 7 minus 5 plus 0. So that is nothing but 2. Here it is 1. Here it is 3. Here it is 4. In this cell 7 minus 3 minus 1, it is 5. Here it is 6 minus 5 minus 1, it is 2. So we can observe that all the delta ij values are greater than or equal to 0. All the delta ij's are greater than or equal to 0. Therefore, the current solution is a optimal solution. So current solution is an optimal solution. The optimal solution is nothing but x11 is equal to 5, x22 is equal to 2, x23 is equal to 6, x32 is equal to 7, x41 is equal to 2, and x43 is equal to 12. The transportation cost is 76. This is the optimal transportation cost. Once the allocation need to be made, after identifying the location where the loop need to be formulated, the different types of loops that are possible are shown here. It may be just a rectangular loop, or it may be just consisting of 4 adjacent cells. It may be something like this. There are step-like structure you can see. It is also something like this. So these are the some of the possibilities of loop formulation. In transportation problems, we can see some of the variations. There are four variations we can identify in major. The first one is the problem is unbalanced. It's unbalanced supply or demand. Suppose there is a excess in supply, then we can add a dummy column. Or suppose there is a excess demand, then we can have a dummy source or dummy row, and we can proceed with the solutions and optimal method finding. Another possibility in the transportation problem is the degeneracy. When the degeneracy occurs, degeneracy may occur in two different situations. Number one, the initial solution. In the initial solution, suppose the total number of allocations are less than m plus n minus 1, that is the degenerate solution. Or during the iterations of the UV method, we can find that some of the total number of allocations, total number of variables xij greater than 0, that may lead to less than m plus n minus 1. So initial solution or solution in the further iterations, subsequent solutions, may end up with the degenerate solution. Degenerate solution is the one where the total number of allocations are less than m plus n minus 1. Now, how to overcome this degeneracy? To overcome degeneracy, to come out of the degeneracy, allocate a variable xij is equal to epsilon, where we need to allocate this epsilon, where the Cij is minimum as well as that particular position does not lead to cycle or a loop with the allocated cells. That is very important. It should not lead to any cycle or loop within the allocated cells. Once that epsilon is allocated, epsilon means it is a very small value, small positive value. It won't affect the cost. And the computations for epsilon is given as epsilon plus epsilon is equal to epsilon itself. Epsilon minus epsilon is 0. Any large value, say some xij is added to epsilon, it gives xij itself. Something is subtracted, xij minus epsilon gives xij itself, and something is multiplied, Cij into epsilon, it gives epsilon itself. This is how the computations for epsilon is defined, as considering it as a very, very small positive value. Another variation that is possible is existence of the multi-optimal solution. Suppose at the optimal solution, if some of the delta ij's are 0, it means there exists an alternate optimal solution. So go for allocation to the cell I comma j where delta ij is equal to 0, and iterate one more times. It will give you the alternate optimal solution. The last variation in the transportation problem is maximization problem. Usually all the transportation problems are basically minimization problem. We need to minimize the transportation cost. Sometimes, suppose the problem is given as a maximization of some profit, let us say, UV method or Modi method cannot be applied directly. So we need to transform the original problem into minimization problem. So we need to modify the matrix in either of the two ways. There are two ways to modify the matrix. The first method is rewrite the matrix by subtracting all the elements from the maximum element. For example, you can see this is a matrix that is given. The maximum element is 100 here. Subtract all the elements from 100. So that will give you this cost matrix. Now we can apply the UV method or any other methods we can apply to this particular problem to find the optimal solution. Another possibility is rewrite the matrix by negating all the values. For example, if this is the cost matrix given, negate it. So all the maximum values becomes minimum values now. So negate all the values. So this is the updated cost matrix. So original problem is a maximization one. Now the problem becomes the minimization problem. So for this transformed matrix, get the initial solution and apply the UV method to get the optimal solution. Let us consider another example and let us understand how the degeneracy will be handled in the transportation problems. Let us consider the following transportation problem. The three sources, three demands, the supply demand is given. If we can observe that the total supply is equal to 50, which is equal to the total demand. Therefore, the problem is balanced. Now let us use northwest corner rule to find the initial solution. The initial solution we got by applying the northwest corner rule is x11 is equal to 5, x12 is equal to 10, x22 is equal to 5, x23 is equal to 15, x24 is equal to 5 and x34 is equal to 10. The overall cost is 520. Now let us apply UV method. UV method, the cost matrix as well as the initial solutions are written here. For the basic variables, the notation is this one, where u and v values need to be found so that ui plus vj should equal to cij. So starting with the u1, let us assign u1 equal to 0. By assigning u1 is equal to 0, we can get v1 equal to 10. 10 plus 0 is equal to 10. Similarly, v2 is equal to 2. 2 plus 0 is equal to 2. Next, let us find out u2 value. So 2 plus u2 is equal to 7. So u2 is equal to 5. Now 5 plus v3 is equal to 9. So 5 plus 4 is equal to 9. v3 is equal to 4. 5 plus v4 is equal to 20. So v4 is equal to 15. v4, that is 15 plus u3 is equal to 18. So that is u3 is nothing but 3. Now let us use the expression delta ij is equal to cij minus ui plus vj to find out the delta ij values. Delta ij value here it is 20 minus 4 plus 0, it is 16. Here it is minus 4. Here it is minus 3, minus 9, 9 and 9. We can observe that there are two negative values. We need to consider the largest negative value. It is nothing but minus 4. Let us allocate as much as possible to this particular location. Let us say plus theta we are allocating. The modified allocations are as follows. Now let us find whether the solution is optimal or not. Let us find the values for u's and v's by using the expression ui plus vj is equal to cij. Assign u1 is equal to 0. We'll get v2 is equal to 2. We'll get v4 is equal to 11. Then we can find u2 is equal to 5. We can find the value of v3 is equal to 4. We can find u3, 11 plus u3 is equal to 18, u3 is equal to 7, and finally 7 plus v1 is equal to 4, so v1 is nothing but minus 3. Now let us find out delta ij for unoccupied cells or non-basic variables. It is 10 minus 3, it is 13 here, 16 here, 10 here, 4, 15 and 5. What we can observe is all the delta ij values are greater than or equal to 0. That means the current solution is optimal solution. So the optimal solution is x12 is equal to 5, x14 is equal to 10, x22 is equal to 10, x23 is equal to 15, x31 is equal to 5, x34 is equal to 5. And the minimum transportation cost is 435. As a homework, you can solve this particular transportation problem, which is already balanced one. The two choices you can do here, two alternatives you can try. Solve the problem starting with northwest corner rule to get the initial basic feasible solution and find the optimal solution using UV method. The second one is solve the same problem initially by using Vogel's approximation method, then go for finding the optimal solution. As a hint, in the first case, what we can observe is there will be 4 iterations in the UV method, whereas the second one lead you with only 1 iteration. So you can understand here why Vogel's approximation method is better than northwest corner rule for getting the initial solution. Thank you for watching the video. Please like the video and subscribe the channel. What is expected from you?